what has been put in there to make sure that the games have been delivered in such a spectacular way, in such a smooth way?
Their plans for the venues were always state of the art. I mean, the jumping hill, for example, there's probably not a better one in the world. The downhill course, which had never held a venue there like that before, it is amazing course. I mean, all of the events. So the planning that went into the venues, now that's the same as what they did in 2008, mind you. It's just they've transferred it to winter sports. They have brought in experts, even though there were many staff working in 2022 who also worked in 2008. So they know how to run an Olympic venue. They know how many media come. They know the demands of the media. They know that the athletes need respect and how to move through, what a mixed zone is, and all of those sorts of things. But what they realize is they've never had someone who's been a photo manager at the downhill, for example, and to understand the intricacies of how that works. Or they haven't had people necessarily run figure skating before, or they haven't, or speed skating, or the curling venue. So yes, they transferred the water cube from a pool into an art sport venue. It used to be basketball, for example, and concerts. So they've done that very well, but they also brought in international expertise like myself, but also many people of the photo managers, press managers who could help them. There's not a lot, but they've done it where they felt that they might need some assistance. And that's very, very good. They've always been prepared to listen to international expertise. Some of the things that I know already are going to happen. I mean, the big air venue is going to be used every single year by FIS for a major event. The alpine venues that you build, they will become World Cup venues, maybe even World Championship venues. That'll happen with the cross country, it'll happen with the freestyle venues, it'll happen with the so many of those sports. And I think you now are in a position where you'll be able to start attracting many of the best events in the world to Beijing, because not only do you have the best venues, but you have an extraordinary infrastructure in Beijing. Most winter venues that are hosting an event, they don't have a big city infrastructure behind them. Beijing does. That's very unique. It's not like going to a ski resort in France, where it's got some hills and some and accommodation. Here you've got an infrastructure to run both summer and winter events. You've got the Bird's Nest, which can hold 90,000 people. So if you want to do a real spectacular, like you do with the big air sometimes in the Bird's Nest, it gives international federations a way to think big. Because as you know, everyone wants the Chinese market, and every sport would like to break into the Chinese market. And I think now, based on your commitment originally that you were going to have 300 million people take up winter sports, then it's you're in a good place to start doing that, because you've got the venues to attract it. The international sporting infrastructure can look at China to host any event it wants now. Be it an NBA basketball match, be it a downhill skiing world championship thing, that's quite significant. And it's not just Beijing. I mean, there are Chengdu and some of the other cities around which also have great facilities. But it makes China far more inviting in that sense. And it means I think you'll have a lot of the sporting federations and entrepreneurs knocking on your door saying, we can help to grow your sport in this country.